Power, and I do mean power, comes from the 3-litre 16-valve 4, which puts out a torquey 240 horsepower at 6,200 RPM. Under hard acceleration, the 968 seemed to go on and on, delivering power. Just when you expect it to start flagging, there's even more on tap. Our test car was fitted with Porsche's expensive TIPTRONIC transmission, the best automatic gearbox anybody builds. Push the lever into the plus-minus gate and you get a clutchless manual transmission. One dab towards the minus, for example, and you get a lower gear almost instantly. 100 kilometers per hour comes up in little over 6 seconds, and fuel economy is in the all-round 11.5 litres per 100 kilometers range. Price is a hefty $71,500, and Porsche's base warranty is 2 years with unlimited kilometers. Few cars have the handling prowess of the 968, and it seems almost impossible to get into trouble with. Very safe and predictable, it's less happy when driven around town. The driver feels every road bump and variation, and at city speeds the steering is lifeless and heavy. This is really an open-road grand touring type of car. If you want something to commute in, leave this one at home and buy a Honda Civic. The big four-wheel disc brakes are outstanding, and anti-lock is, of course, standard. If you don't stop, there are driver and passenger side airbags. The cockpit has good points and bad, mostly bad. The seats are very well designed and feel comfortable and grippy. Once in place, though, most drivers find the steering wheel located too low and it's not adjustable for rake. Few cars I've tried are as badly laid out as this one with regard to switchgear and controls. Switches are scattered all over the cabin, and many of them are not lit at night. Window lift buttons are an afterthought, and the seat controls do not seem designed for humans to operate. This is a wonderful car for flinging around tight turns and blasting down traffic-free roads, and in that environment it's every bit a Porsche. Porsche will be trying to win customers away from the Nissan 300ZX, Mazda RX-7 and Toyota MR2. Even the exotic Acura NSX isn't too far away in price from the Cabriolet, and Corvette fans will swear that their favourite Sportster is better in every way.
Well, I love this one, Ted, but it's going to only earn half a tank driving dollar value because of niggly little faults and a very high price.
Well, at last we agree. You know what? The big problem with this car is actually there's two, but the first one first. It's not user-friendly. It's designed to be as hostile to drive as you can possibly imagine. Yeah, you can take it around corners quickly, but everything about the car is awkward. That top, this is a very expensive automobile. My Morgan is easier to work with than this thing.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think that this is a point, the top. I was joking, by the way, when I said that you have to sit on the roof. You don't really have to do that, but it's very awkward, a real nail breaker and so forth. It's difficult to put the top down. Why we have two separate keys,
what they were thinking about when they designed that top, I just can't imagine. And the steering wheel, it's like this.
And it's always been the same. Ever since the 924 of many, many years ago now, every automotive journalist known to mankind has been complaining about that steering wheel. They've done nothing about it. The engineering people at Porsche are supposed to be some of the best in the business, have done nothing about it at all.
This is arrogance. This is arrogance on the part of Porsche, which I've always complained about over the years. They don't listen to their customers. They're going to make their car their way, and to hell with anybody else.
Well, that's true.
And that's going to be the death of them.
In their defense, I'll have to say, this really is a super car for open road motoring and so on. It's a Porsche. It's got a wonderful feel to it and so forth. It handles incredibly well. That engine, how they get that much power out of that engine, I don't know. It's a real achievement.
I agree, but it's not the best. An RX-7 will run away from this thing. A Lotus Elan is faster through the corners, although just about as expensive. This is not as good a car as you're making it out to be. It's fine. It's fun to drive, but it's such a drag in every other way.
The kicker really is the price. And let's face it, if you own the car, you do get used to the controls. We should always sort of explain that. We try these cars for fairly brief periods compared to people who
You'll never get used to those
well, you never get used to that. That's true. But the switchgear, I suppose, you know, it's funny having certain things scattered around. It's very, very bad. But generally speaking, on the open road, the car is unsurpassed as a sports car. We're going to have to wrap up. Sorry to cut you off.
I got more to say.
Summing up here. Things I didn't like about the car, well, the control layout. There were switches just about everywhere you looked. There was a switch for something or other. On the plus side, the styling was wonderful. The engine, outstanding. And, hey, it's a Porsche. Driving dollar value, I can only give it half a tank because, quite honestly, it's just too expensive for what it is.
Too expensive and not driver-friendly. Look at an NSX. We'll be right back.